Hello, I'm John Weiler with the Sovereign Passage Assembly, and this is our daily brief for February 7th, 2019. Today we're going to finish up with our study of Parsha Yithro, and the reading for Parsha Yithro is Shemoth chapter 18, verse 1 to chapter 20, 23. Yesterday we ended in chapter 20, verse 12. But we discussed what occurred in the beginning that brought us to where we are today, brought yashar'el to the feet of the Mount of Elohim to receive the way of YAHUAH, okay? So we discussed the decisions made by Adam and Hua, and how that translates directly to us today with how we want to be Elohim, so we take it upon ourselves to do many things. And our covering is our covering. It's not the covering of Elohim. And we don't have really the concept that that's what we're striving to be back to is as it was in the beginning. And that's how it's going to be. So the end was told from the beginning. So the life that Adam was given there is the life that we're striving for today through the Messiah, through YAHUSHA HA'MASHIACH. So it's a very important concept for us to grasp today because we live in a world that it's completely opposite, completely contrary to the way to include our religious institutions. We have this idea of Jesus, of what Jesus Christ is, and not really grasping what it is that he was on this earth and what he was speaking for us to be looking towards. So we're to be things that will be as it was in the beginning. So it's very important, and we go through the first steps in how we orient ourselves towards Elohim through the name of YAHUAH. Okay? So that's what we talked about yesterday with how we focus now on our Father in heaven. Excuse me. We honor our mother. Yerushalayim is to flow as water to be safe or completed. So Yara is a root of Yerushalayim. Shalom is the root of Yerushalayim. Yara means to flow as water. Shalom means to be safe or to be completed. And the Torah, the root of Torah is Yara. Okay, so we see what brings us as we flow as water, the living water that Mashiach tells us that, the wells that will become are the rivers of living water out of our mouths. We're to flow as water to be safe or complete. That's Yerushalayim. And that's the holy city that comes out of the city, or out of Shamayim, or the heavens at the end, the bride of the Lamb. So this can be pretty challenging, but that's why we have to study the Word. Okay, get in the Word and seek YAHUAH through the Word. Okay, that's what we're sanctified with, is the truth. That's the truth. His Word is truth. Okay, so let's continue on then with how we are to be in this life, this world, in reflecting Elohim. Okay, so with our desire to seek Him, that relationship with Elohim, again, as it was with Adam, we will then desire to the relationship with others. Now, this is something too that is challenging, very, very challenging to us. Just because of, we have the outpouring of the Ruach HaKodesh, the Ruach Elohim today. We're in the 6th sixth day, the 6,000th year, we get a double portion of manna. So we have a greater understanding of this relationship, and it's just continuing. We're getting a bit more and more information to what we need to do, a realization more so of what we need to do. So what seems to be occurring, if we can look around us, is an equalization with the effort of the dragon who is making war with the remnant of the seed of the woman. Okay, so very challenging today, and it was challenging in the time of the apostles too. But we're called to do certain things as we relate to others, and it all truly stems with the disposition of our ruach inside. And we're called to be part of things, and we're called to not no longer be part of things, just because it causes a breakage or distraction in this relationship that we're striving to be in all the time. Okay. All right. So now let's get in our word. We're gonna read Shemoth chapter 20. We're gonna finish out the Parsha from 13 to 23, and then we're gonna discuss this through the words of Mashiach. Okay, verse 13. You shall not kill. You shall not break wedlock. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not lust after your neighbor's house. You shall not lust after your neighbor's woman. You shall not, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is your neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the shofar and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Mosheh, Speak with us, and we will hear. But let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. And Mosheh said unto the people, Fear not, for Elohim is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Mosheh drew near unto the thick darkness where Elohim was. And YAHUAH said unto Mosheh, Thus you shall say unto the children of yashar'el, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me Elohai of silver, neither shall you make unto you Elohai of gold. And that's the end. Okay, so you shall not kill. Kill is a word, it's called ratzak. It means to dash in pieces, or to slay or cause death. Can mean to murder, can mean to execute. Okay, so these are just usages of the word ratzak. That's Strong's H7523. That's you shall not kill. You shall not break wedlock. The word is na'af, and it's Strong's H5003. It can mean to commit adultery, and also to apostatize. Excuse me, or to turn away from. So break wedlock in our covenant with YAHUAH. You shall not steal. Steal is ganab, and that's Strong's H1589, and it means to thieve or to deceive. To deceive. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. The false witness is shakar, and it's Strong's H266. Means to cheat or be untrue, and as a footnote, is usually in words. And neighbor is ra'ah, and that's Strong's H7462, and the word means to tend a flock, or to pasture it, or to graze, or to rule, or to associate with. Okay, ra'ah. So you shall not cheat or be untrue to your flock, is what it says there. Okay. All right, and you shall not lust after your neighbor's house, woman, manservant, maidservant, ox, ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. Lust is kamad, and that is Strong's H2530, and it means to delight in. You should not delight in any of those things that do not belong to you. And then all the people, that was the end of that, and all the people saw the thunderings and lightnings, and noise of the shofar, the mountain smoking, and when they saw it, they moved away from it, stood afar off. So they moved back from the way of YAHUAH. And they said unto Moshe, you speak with us, and we will hear, but let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. Okay, so what they're saying is, Elohim is speaking directly to them. But what they said is, to Moshe, you speak to us, because if we hear Elohim again, we will die. So that tells us our spiritual direction there, of yashar'el. And then Moshe said, fear not, don't be afraid, fear not, for Elohim has come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that you sin not, or you do not break the relationship, that you remember this. And the people stood afar off, and Moshe drew near unto the thick darkness where Elohim was. So Moshe went up. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, tell them, say unto the children of yashar'el, ye have seen that I have talked to you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me Elohai of silver, shall not make unto you Elohai of gold. We talked yesterday about Elohai, what the serpent spoke to Eve in his deceitfulness, beguiled her, spoke deceitfully, but she hearkened to it. Okay, she wanted to be an Elohai. Adam wanted to be Elohai. And here we see the knowledge of good and evil. And we can see still a choice here of the evil versus the good, the contrary versus the way. Okay, the way that's just starting to be given, excuse me, right now, of YAHUAH, leading back to Elohim. So, very interesting. Real quick here, let's jump up to Deuteronomy 18. And these are, Deuteronomy is Devarim, which means words. That's why these are called the 10 Devarim, or the 10 words. And the last book in the Torah is Devarim, and it's the words of Moshe spoken. It's Elohim speaking through Moshe to yashar'el. And it's very interesting all throughout, because it recaps everything, and it tells what's going to happen now, what they're going to go through, and then what's happening today. It speaks to our Mashiach, because that's who we're going to read these things through the Mashiach now. But let's listen here, excuse me, in Devarim, chapter 18, where Moshe promises that, and then we'll go to Mashiach. Okay, let's just start here at verse 9. So chapter 18, verse 9, in the book of Devarim or Deuteronomy. When you are come into the land which Yahweh Elohim gives you, you shall not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone that makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or that uses divination, or one that practices sorcery, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these are an abomination unto Yahweh, and because of these abominations, Yahweh Elohim drives them out from before you. You shall be perfect with Yahweh Elohim. For these nations which you shall possess hearken unto sorcerers and unto diviners, but as for you, Yahweh Elohim has not suffered you to do so. And Yahweh Elohim will raise up unto you a prophet from the midst of you, and of your brethren, like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken, according to all that you have desired of Yahweh Elohim in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh Elohim, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And Yahweh said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto you, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet, which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other Elohim, even that prophet shall die. And if you say in your heart, how shall we know the word which Yahweh has not spoken? When the prophet speaks in the name of Yahweh, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which YAHUAH has not spoken. But the prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You shall not be afraid of him. Okay. So this prophet that he's going to send, because they did not want to hear the words from Elohim. So we got to think about that for a moment, because the whole purpose is to be back together as one with Elohim. Adam was made in the image of Elohim, and then they chose to be Elohim themselves. And so from that point, we are right now in the image of Adam, striving to be in the image of Elohim. And we can only do that through this prophet that Moshe is speaking of here, which is YAHUSHA the Messiah. It's through him that allows us to repent, which is turning to the name of YAHUAH. He was the name made manifest. Okay, he manifested the name, and he was the word of YAHUAH made flesh. So, for us, though, it tells us a lot right here of what we're having to come out of today. Okay, it's very challenging. So all the abominations that is spoken about right here, we're doing today and glorifying it and saying it's wonderful. It's for Jesus, who is this prophet that's then being told. But when a prophet speaks in the name of YAHUAH, and a thing follow not, nor come to pass, and that is a thing which YAHUAH has not spoken, but the prophet has spoken it presumptuously, you shall not be afraid of him. So the ones who have said that Jesus now has forgiven us so we can do all these abominations is speaking presumptuously. And then those of us that continue with that are speaking presumptuously because we don't know the word. We don't know the way. We're told not to do that. Told not to do any of the church appointed times. Okay? Like Christmas, Lent, Easter, Ash Wednesday, Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, Easter Sunday. None of those things. Those are all abominations of the nations. Okay, of the nations that yashar'el hearkened to. Okay, because they wanted to be Elohim. So it's very challenging today because that's what is glorified. So we have to know the difference. And then for those of us like myself who were raised in this way, to see the Messiah different than what is in here, and to hear the message that is different than it's in here. Okay, to bear false witness against your neighbor is to cheat or be untrue against those you are to tend the flock of. Okay, and that's a minister or a pastor is a shepherd, and not to blame all these pastors because we're all from the same tree or the same stem there of Adam in the beginning who chose these things. We just continue to perpetuate it. So we have to recognize it, and then all of us, every single person, because we will perpetuate the lie here, the deception. Should not cheat or be untrue against the flock you are to pasture. So, very challenging though, very challenging. Okay, so anyways, let's move forward here to YAHUSHA, our Messiah, who is this prophet here, who is also the fulfillment or the fullness, the completeness of. Because where Moshe says to be perfect in YAHUAH means to be complete. Perfect is complete in YAHUAH. So he is the completeness. He is the one whom the Spirit of Elohim, the Ruach Elohim, descended upon, and now he speaks the words of living water. He's coming in the name of YAHUAH. So we know he's the Mashiach. Okay, there are many others that claim to be that, especially during his time, but he is the Mashiach. There's a very subtle and very methodical force in the serpent that's at work in this world, in the same way that it was in the Garden of Eden. Okay, so the same environment is what we're seeking towards, and the serpent was in the environment of those who were complete or perfect already. And they're able to take the ones who are complete, are perfect, and lead them astray. Okay, they were to cheat or be untrue, to tend to against the flock they were to pasture. Okay, and not to say that the serpent was to pasture that flock, but we have those who are already in the image of Elohim that desired to not be in it anymore. So we're striving now to get back to that, but we can also see how fragile that is. You know, it's really up to us, and we have to recognize these things. So now let's go to the words of the one who is complete, the one who has the Ruach Elohim, who is complete in the way. And let's listen to the fullness now as to how we are to interact in this world. Okay, so Besorah Matthew, or Gospel of Matthew, in chapter 5. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into the mountain. And when he was set, his Talmudim came unto him, and he opened his mouth, and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in the Ruach, for theirs is the kingdom of YAHUAH. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see Yah. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of YAHUAH. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of YAHUAH. Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt lost its savour, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out, and to be trodden under foot. Ye are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a menorah. And it gives light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Think not that I come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. For I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For amen, I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one yod or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the Torah, till all things be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of YAHUAH. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of YAHUAH. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Parashim, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of YAHUAH. So we'll stop there, and he begins speaking about who are the ones who are set apart in this world, okay, or that are blessed. The ones who are poor in the Ruach, okay, who humble themselves, okay, are afflict the Ruach, because we're seeking the relationship. Bless those who are mourn, all right, because we see the things for the world and how terrible they are, the terrible things that occur with the relationship, or how their thought process, our old thought process, was for YAHUAH, for God, okay, the taking in vain. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they that do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Okay, and that's us. That's what we're striving to be and do right now. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Okay, now that's something that is a very challenging thing for all of us, because pride steps in the way of being merciful. Pride or desire steps in the way of being merciful. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see Yah. And he speaks in verse 13, you are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its savor, where shall it be salted? Salt's a purifying agent. Okay, we're the salt of the earth. We're blessed because we're pure in the heart. All right, so we have to have and be this way to be these things here, to be the salt of the earth. So blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of YAHUAH. Okay, to make peace is through the reconciliation. We have a perpetuation of Mashiach that allows us now to enter into our relationship through him. But he had the Ruach Elohim on him, and that's what we're learning from directly right now. So we're getting the prophet, because yashar'el did not want to hear the words directly from Elohim, or from Moshe. Now we're hearing the words from Elohim through Yahusha. Okay, but blessed are the peacemakers. Okay, the ones that make shalem, okay, which is to be safe or complete. So blessed are those who come in this name of YAHUAH. All right, because that's the words to flow as water, is the name of YAHUAH, is the Torah's instructions. Okay, blessed are thee that are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of YAHUAH. Okay, we've got to think about the term there, righteousness' sake. Okay, righteousness is YAHUAH. Okay, that's the way of Yah. So we can be persecuted for a number of things, but blessed are they that are persecuted for righteousness' sake. And blessed are ye when men shall revile you, persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. When you start to speak the word of YAHUAH, okay, these words right here, and then speak the Besorah, which is repentance through the Mashiach, to those who don't want it, okay, and they will revile you. And in certain cases, they'll persecute you to the extent of not wanting anything to do with you. And they'll try to harm you in some cases from here. It's called Lashon Hara. It's words that cause harm. So they'll spiritually attack you. And in some cases to your face, most cases not. Some will try to hurt you. I've never had anybody try to harm me physically because of this. And I don't want I don't want any harm at all. I want to live my life in harmony as I'm seeking the way of Elohim, so I can be in that completion. I don't want any of these things. None of us do. But it's going to happen, because this is what we are doing now, is we are speaking the truth, which is his word, and people don't want that. They want to remain Elohim themselves, okay? But they don't see it that way. We didn't see it that way either. Most people will react in a way that they don't quite understand, okay? Because it's happening from the Ruach, because of the immense Babel, which is confusion, or Babylon, which is mass confusion. And we're called out of Babylon, which is come out of mass confusion and come to the truth. Okay, so he says you're the salt of the earth. But if it loses its savor, where's it going to be salted? What's it going to do? It's going to be good for nothing, cast out and be trodden underfoot. It says, you are the light of the world. And the city that's set on the hill cannot be hid. Yerushalayim cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle, put it under a bushel or basket, put it up on a menorah or a candlestand, so it lights a whole house. Let your light shine before men, that they see your good works and glorify your Father which is in Shamayim, heaven. Okay, now, what we do is that, specifically, but we don't do that so people see us, okay? He just says, don't hide it. Don't hide what is happening here. In fact, the opposite, okay? We're to go forward. That's what YAHUAH tells, or Elohim tells Moshe, it says to yashar'el, says, tell yashar'el to go forward through the waters. And he tells Moshe what to do. All right, so he says, think not I've come to destroy the Torah of the prophets. I did not come to destroy it, which would be to end it. I've not come to destroy it, but to fulfill it. So to fulfill is the word is pleru, which means to fill up or be the fullness of or be the completeness. Okay. So he's the prophet that was sent to speak the words of Elohim to those who didn't want to hear it directly from Elohim. So he's coming to fulfill or to fill up or be complete in the way of YAHUAH. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of YAHUAH. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of YAHUAH. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Parashim, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of YAHUAH. Okay, we have to look at this today because, I myself, I'm coming out of a life that sees the Mashiach, the one who's speaking right here, differently. and to even speak to people who are in the same way that I used, or see the Messiah in the same way that I used to, they will not even recognize this. They will not even hear these words. They won't hear, think not that I come to destroy the Torah of the prophets. I didn't come to end the Torah or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. What they'll hear is fulfill, and they'll see fulfill as, well, there you go. He's ended it. He's fulfilled it. Now we don't have to do it. Okay. Not even, they'll say that because of their desire to not want the way. Okay. To remain as Elohim themselves and create their own, at that point, their own Elohim or their own Messiah that allows them to destroy the Torah and the prophets. Okay, so that's very, very important for us to recognize that, because that's, if we came out of any type of Christian background, that's what we've been told, and that's what the people that, we're going to want to go out and tell people all this great, the true Besorah here, which is repent, because the kingdom of heaven has come near. Then this is the response that we'll get. Okay, but we have to recognize too who we're talking to. Okay, because then at that point we have a choice, because we're going to there's a very strong chance that our Ruach, because if we're going out to talk to people that we're not quite recognizing the state that they're in, we're not recognizing the state that we're in at that moment. And what's going to happen is our Ruach is going to start to vibrate and get upset. And then there'll be a lashing out at some point, because we'll say, it's right here. Can you not see that? And then they'll get upset and say, well, what about this? Or you know what I believe, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's what's going to happen. And then it's going to be a conflict. But what's happening right here with Mashiach, he's telling us that these things that occur through the 10 Devarim, you shall not kill, break wedlock, steal, bear false witness, lust after anything, they have to do with how we react to people. Okay, how we approach people and how we react to people. So for us to go and speak to somebody who is in the dark, in the dungeons, that is a plundered or looted people, has the desire to continue to create their own way in life and to create their own Elohim, and then expect them to just see what we have been given as a gift, a wonderful, wonderful gift, that we can now see the truth, that it's the beginning. It's like a spark that we need to take care of, so it turns into a flame, into that light. That means we need to seek Him through the words and get a better understanding of the relationship with Yahweh and us, better understanding of ourselves, so that we don't react in the ways that cause further harm. Okay? Because it'll turn into that, because people will not want to hear that Mashiach didn't come to destroy the Torah of the prophets. That means that that's the way back into our relationship, because they have it already bound up within their Ruach, that this other Jesus allows them to not be in this relationship at all. In fact, it's unrighteousness. It's bad to follow the Torah, because then it's legalistic and you're trying to earn your way into heaven. Although the same things that occur in the way of YAHUAH are perverted into the ways of the churches, and you're following a whole separate other state of days and rituals that can parallel the way of YAHUAH, but it's made by men and created. They're by their own Elohai. So it's very challenging for us today, but we have to recognize that we cannot behave the way that we used to behave. All right, we have to recognize within ourselves when the things are occurring and disengage, or not be around at all, because we can't. Because if we're around people who will continue to deny and deny and deny, just like Adam and Chua, who are in the safe place, the Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden, this place of safety that was wonderful in the relationship of Elohim, but yet they still looked away and they lost it because of their choices. The same thing will occur to us. It will happen. Okay, So he says, so except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Parashim, shall now in no case enter the kingdom of YAHUAH. So we can see those who were not following the way, perverting the way. Okay, they were being untrue against those they were to tend flock to. Okay. All right, so continuing on. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, you shall not kill. And whomsoever shall kill shall be in danger of judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother Racha shall be in danger of the council. And whosoever shall say you fool shall be in danger of the fire of Gehenna. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there remember that your brother has aught against you, leave there your gift before the altar, and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Agree with your adversary quickly, while you're in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and you be cast into prison. Now, man, I say unto you, you shall by no means come out of there until you have paid the uttermost farthing. Okay, we learn a lot from that right there, specifically with what we just discussed, is that we should not be angry. Never, ever let anger judge or drive your decisions. You shall not kill. Okay, so anger is the equivalent of murder, all right, and the reaction of anger. All right, so if we are lashing out to others out of anger, but we're not punching them or beating them, but we're lashing out, we are still attacking them with the ruach. And in many, if not all cases, that causes more harm because it's hard to heal. In fact, we can't heal from that. It is YAHUAH, Rofeka, which is YAHUAH who heals you. So there's only one way of healing with that, and that's through the way, which is the Torah, the YAHUAH. So for us, though, to do that is murder. So we have to be very, very aware of that and take yourself out of the situations that cause that specifically. Because most of what we see today are people getting angry and upset. And it's really, that's a human reaction. Because that's the choice of being their own Elohim, our own Elohim. So we have to be very, very aware of that, so we're not causing our spiritual murder. And also, if we don't reconcile these things, okay, you can't make somebody forgive you, but you have to forgive them, and you have to seek forgiveness for what you've done. You can't hold on to that. You have to try to make reconciliation. Now, again, you can't force somebody to say it's okay and truly forgive you, but you can reconcile with them, and then they have that choice for that. So that's what we do, and we do it quickly. Otherwise, we're going to be judged based off of that. So all of our words we're going to be held accountable for. So we need to do that. It's very true, and we don't have any time. We need to think about in our lives, what have we done that we need to make amends for to others? Because what he says is you're going to be cast into prison. And then you will by no means come out until you have paid the uttermost farthing. All right, so we got to think about that. The things that we do now they echo into the life to come. And there's going to be a demand for the way we are with how we hurt, okay? It's going to be a reckoning for how we hurt others. Okay, verse 27 says, you have heard that it was said by them of old time, you shall not break wedlock. But I say unto you that whosoever looks on a woman to lust after has broken wedlock already with her in his heart. And if your right eye offend you, pluck it out, and cast it from you, for it is profitable for you that one of your members shall perish, and not that your whole body should be cast into Gehenna. And if your right hand offend you, cut it off, and cast it from you. For it is profitable for you that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body should be cast into Gehenna. It has been said, whosoever shall put away his woman, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his woman, saving for the cause of fornication, causes her to break wedlock. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced breaks wedlock. Okay, that's important. Extremely important, especially in this time that we live in now. Pornography is the #1 searched thing and sought out thing on the internet. Pornography, pornographia. And that is fornication or sexual immorality. So, that's what it says here, don't break wedlock. When we look at somebody or something with lust in our hearts, lust, meaning to delight in, okay, is chamad, is to delight in. So we're looking at a member of the opposite sex as to delight in, as an attractive, and I would like to have relations with, okay? But we're married, or we're with somebody, and we do that, we have broken that wedlock here in our ruach. Now this also translates to our relationship with YAHUAH, because we're back in our relationship through our door YAHUSHA HA'MASHIACH, which is a marriage promise. And so we look to something else with lust in our heart that is not part of the relationship that we have with Him. We've broken it. Because our heart is our spiritual desire. That's the desire of our ruach. So our eye must be single on the way of YAHUAH, because what he says, if it offends you, then pluck it out. If it causes this, get it out. So that means that we don't literally pull our eye out of our head or cut our hand off. It means to get away from those things. You cut those things off from your life. If you can't stop looking at porn, for example, then get away from the things that allow you access to it and seek Him in His Word. If you're around somebody that you have an inappropriate relationship, like a coworker or something like that, you get away from them. You stop it. You end it completely. And then get into His Word. Seek Him through His Word. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have a job that has you be around strangers that cause you to do things, a job's just is maybe not the best example, but anything in any place that causes you to be looking at others lustfully, okay, with delight, then get away from it and seek Him through His Word. Don't do anything that causes the physically in this world to break the relationship that you have with YAHUAH, because it leads to death. Okay, and divorce too, written divorcement, save whosoever shall put away his woman, saving for the cause of fornication. Okay, so fornication is sexual relations that are outside of a relationship. Okay, so it puts her away, saving for that, causes her to break wedlock, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced breaks wedlock. Because it's one man, one woman. Because in the beginning, it was Adam and Hua, and the two became one flesh. Hua came from Adam, from Adam, and then when they cleave together, they become one. So the one became two, then the two become one. Okay, and that's our path. That's what's being spoken of right now, is we're seeking to be as Adam in the Garden of Eden, who was made in the image of Elohim with the one, but then we became two when we turned away, but now we're seeking to cleave to Elohim to become one again. Okay, Yachad, through YAHUSHA HA'MASHIACH. Okay, so it's the same thing with our relationships here. So our relationships with our significant others should be the same as our relationship, should reflect the relationship that we have with YAHUAH. Okay, so verse 33, it says, and ye have heard that it has been said by them of old time, you shall not forswear yourself, but shall perform unto Yah your oaths. But I say unto you, swear not falsely, neither by heaven, for it is Yahweh's throne, neither by the earth, for it is His footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. Neither shall you swear by your head, because you cannot make one of your hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, yea, Nay, nay. For whatsoever more than these comes of evil. Okay, so we don't swear or take oaths because we're going to break them. All right, that's what it comes down to. We will swear falsely. We'll break them. So don't do it. We just let our yes be yes and our no's be no's. You have heard that it has been said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite you on your right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man will sue you at judgment and take away your coat, let him have your cloak also. And whosoever shall compel you to go a mile, go with him 2. Give to him that asks of you, and from him that would borrow of you, turn not away. Okay, because at that point, and at these points here, we are resisting for something. Okay, we're resisting for something here in this world. We're to humble ourselves to Elohim, and YAHUAH is our shield. It is YAHUAH who fights for us. That's what we're learning in the Torah right now. We have to have faith in that relationship. Okay, we have to have faith in the understanding of who we are and how we are to be. Okay, because everything that we do is for the glory of YAHUAH. Every single thing. So, we do not seek vengeance, all right, or any type of retaliation. And that's really tough, because the question there is, do we defend ourselves? If somebody comes in to kill you, you're just going to let them kill you. Or comes in to kill your family, you're going to let that happen. Okay, but that's not really what it's talking about here. All right, we're talking about revenge. All right, we don't take revenge on others. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. They did this, so now I'm going to do the same thing to them. They took this, I'm going to take that from them. Okay, so it's revenge. It's not really so much with letting yourself getting harmed. Okay, because he says that you resist not evil. Okay, verse 43, ye have heard that it has been said, you shall love your neighbor, but hate your enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, and do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven, for he makes the sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sends the rain on the just and the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans do the same? If ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Are ye therefore perfect? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Okay, so be complete is what he's saying. As Elohim. Be complete, be perfect. Okay, so love your enemies. Right now, as we come out of the world, our enemies are our friends. Okay, the people that we knew, and our family, the people that we knew in the world, because they despise the way. And they become those that can cause us to turn away, all right? Just by, not that they're trying to. Nobody's going to try to cause harm, generally speaking. But just with, as it was in the beginning with Adam and YAHUAH, the serpent entered in, and they were in this relationship. That was how he was originally created, and yet they turned away. So we have to recognize and take the same steps of staying away from them. So they're our enemies, but we still love them. And we love them. Love is through what we're talking about right now, is through how we interact with them. And we pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you. Pray for them, because those enemies can then become your brother. All right? That's how it works. So who are we right now? Who were we? We were our enemy. And who are we now? We are seeking to be sons of Elohim. That's what we're seeking. And what happened? Something happened for us to change our lives, to desire it. Who's to say the same is not going to occur to those whom we have to now distance ourselves to because of the potential of us looking away for our own safety? Who's to say, though, that they're not going to be where we are? That's what we pray for. So we pray for them. We love them. Bless them that curse us, even though, because they will. You'll have family members and friends that will curse you. They're not actively saying, I curse you, like that. But they won't have anything to do with you. They'll say, well, yeah, there's something really happened. It's too bad. Something really happened to them. But you bless them because you hope and pray that it's the will of Elohim that they can hear the same way that you heard. And that they hearken, that they do something about it. And that then you can be family again. Friends again. Friends that are family, because you're brothers at that point. Okay. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Okay, so perfect is complete, as in the relationship to Elohim as Adam was. Okay, we're going to stop with this for now, because we'll be coming back to the Mashiach all throughout, as we keep with the Torah, with the name of YAHUAH, because he tells us he's the fullness of it. So we need to learn the Torah and then learn it through Mashiach, and then to reconcile it within us, because it's the way to Elohim. Okay, Yahweh Eloheka. So I would suggest you is to continue to read chapter 6 and chapter 7, but be looking through this through the eye of what we just read with the last portion of the 10 Devarim. But I'd like to end out here with the letter to the Ephesians, with how, now knowing these things, how we should be looking at life around us, how we should be behaving. So let's go to Ephesians chapter 4, and we're going to read through the end of chapter 5. I therefore, the prisoner of YAHUAH, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the calling wherewith you are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long-suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to guard the unity of the Ruach in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Ruach, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling, one YAHUAH, one belief, one immersion, one Yah, and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in you all. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Mashiach. Wherefore he says, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive, and gave gifts unto men. Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? He that descended is the same that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And he gave some apostles, he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers, for the perfecting of the Kodashim, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Mashiach, till we all come in the unity of belief and the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Mashiach, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and the cunning craftiness, whereby they lie and wait to deceive. But speaking the truth in love, we may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Mashiach, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplies, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, makes increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. This I say therefore, and testify in YAHUAH, that ye henceforth walk not as the other nations walk, in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of YAHUAH through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart. Who being past feeling have given themselves over to lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. But ye have not so learned Mashiach, if so be that ye have heard him, and have been taught by him, as the truth is in YAHUSHA. that ye put off concerning the former conversation with old man, in which is corrupt according to deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the ruach of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which is after Yah, is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that has need. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto hearers. And grieve not the Ruach HaKodesh of YAHUAH, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness, wrath, anger, and clamor, and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be ye kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as YAHUAH for Mashiach's sake has forgiven you. Be ye therefore followers of YAHUAH as dear children, and walk in love, as Mashiach also has loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to YAHUAH for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you, as becomes the Kodashim. Neither filthiness, nor foolishness, foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Mashiach and of YAHUAH. Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things comes the wrath of Yah upon the children of disobedience. Be not ye therefore partakers with them, for ye were in time past darkness, but now are ye light in YAHUAH. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of the Ruach is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto Yah. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, for whatsoever does make manifest is light. Wherefore he says, Awake, you that sleep, and arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall give you light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of Yah is. And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Ruach, speaking to yourself in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to YAHUAH, giving thanks always for all things unto YAHUAH and the Father in the name of our Adonai YAHUSHA HA'MASHIACH, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of YAHUAH. Women, submit yourselves unto your own men, as unto YAHUAH, for the man is the head of the woman, even as Mashiach is the head of the called out assembly, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the called out assembly is subject to Mashiach, so let the women be their own men in everything. Be to their own men in everything. Men, love your women, even as Mashiach also loved the called out assembly and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious called out assembly, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their women as their own bodies. He that loves his woman loves himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, even as Adonai, the called out assembly. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his woman, and the two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Mashiach and the called out assembly. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his woman, even as himself, and the woman sees that she reverence her man. Okay, and that's exactly what we've been talking about here. Okay, specifically with the relationship, where the one became two and the two become one. Okay, and that's us now. All right, so we are separated, and now we can become one through Yahusha. Okay, through Yahusha, the Ruach Elohim. All right, so now we're starting to get a better picture of the Word and how we should be looking at the Word with the days that we have, for the days are evil. Okay, the times that we're in now, there are extremely evil. So that means that we need to be aware of how we are interacting in these times. We need to know the will of YAHUAH. And the will was told to us in the very beginning. This is what we are striving to be, is one. Again, as Adam was one in the Garden of Eden. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that these words have blessed you. And I hope that you yourself will be getting into the Word throughout the rest of the week here, leading up to Sabbath, and start to see the truth and the way of YAHUAH, and where that leads is to Elohim, and where we are individually in that path right now. Okay, because it's really up to us and our desire to seek the relationship. Okay, well, have a wonderful rest of your day, and have a wonderful Sabbath. And we'll be back here next week with another study into the portion of the instructions of the upright of El. Thank you.